Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, this is my last video that I'm putting out from Wisconsin, but that does not mean the freedom train ends here. It is only beginning. It doesn't matter the destination that we are currently in. Now, one of the things that's so important as we go into the weekends for the midterms is we have to understand where our gun right candidates are actually falling, where our gun rights are falling as we go into the midterms. Now, a big push has been the fact that we're going towards a red wave. And I'm going to be honest, this video, I don't like the direction this is going. I'm going to have everything linked in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think. And again, forgive my voice because I am getting over a travel cold. But like I said, that does not stop our progress. So the stuff that I'm about to show you is where we're progressing and kind of trending towards those midterms. And that's what we're doing on this channel for every weekend going into November. But check this out. According to the 2022 generic congressional vote, this is the generic ballot across the board, Republicans are actually losing ground. So there's some good news and then there's some interesting news. So last week, when we did this exact same video, Republicans were up by 5. They are now up by 4. So that is a drop of 1% according to Rasmussen, which is not a left-leaning poll. That is one we've been tracking the whole time. But some things that I want to show you that are really interesting. Check this out. Again, everything is linked if you want to dive deeper. As of Friday, September 9, the 2022 midterm elections are now 60 days away, and Republicans have a 4-point lead in their bid to recapture control of Congress. The latest Rasmussen reports, national telephone and online survey finds that if elections for Congress were held today, 46% of likely U.S. voters would vote for the Republican candidate, while 42% would vote for Democrat. The most important thing that we can do right now is activate everyone that we know so we can get our gun rights on the right direction and stop the Biden administration right in its tracks. That's incredibly important. But this is some context for you, okay? The GOP lead is down 1 from last week when they led 47-42, which is what I mentioned in the intro. The Republicans have led the generic congressional ballot all year, although their lead has narrowed since mid-July, which is what we've been covering, right? From a standpoint of context, where this was previously, in September of 2018, before voters handed Democrats their first House majority in 8 years, Democrats held a 4-point advantage, 46-42, in the generic ballot question. Now, that's the good news, bad news portion, okay? The bad news, Republicans are falling in the actual congressional polling as it gets tighter for the congressional generic ballot. The good news, the Republicans are in the exact same place that the Democrats were in 2018 when they took the House away from Trump for the first time in 8 years. So we're trending in the right direction overall, but in the minority polling for congressional ballot, we are narrowing. So like I said, good news, bad news. But I'm going to lay out a few of the other things that are going in our favor, in our direction as we move forward, right? So what I'm showing you right now is the total approval for Biden as a presidential candidate, in this case, compared to Trump and the raw numbers. So right now, Biden has a total approval rating of 44%. In comparison, currently, Trump has a 48%. So Trump being associated with Republicans, that kind of matches with the +4 from the congressional perspective, right? But as we continue, this is where it gets really, you have to look a little more macro, okay? From a direction of the country, according to the Real Clear Politics polling, we are talking about 22.9% of people think that we are going in the right direction. That is 1/4, less than 1/4 of the United States population thinks we're going in the right direction, while 70% think the wrong direction. That obviously ties in nicely with the existing polling that we're seeing and the movement across the board when you have inflation, gas prices, and grocery prices, all the things we've been talking about, right? But now, this is an important one because do you remember what I was talking about last week when we were saying that the Democrats were trying to make it a referendum on Trump and the Republicans were trying to make it a referendum on Biden, right? Midterms are usually a referendum on the sitting party in power in the White House. More see midterms as referendum on Biden. As of Wednesday, September 7th, by a 6-point margin, voters view the upcoming midterm elections as being more about President Joe Biden than individual candidates and issues, and half say a Republican win means Biden should change course. Well, he's not going to change course, but he can be curtailed in his power. But this is important because, again, Biden and the Democrats are trying to distance what's happening currently in the country with Biden. They don't want those two things tied together. It's not working by 6 points. That's pretty big. Now, check this out, the last thing I have for you. The latest Rasmussen Reports National Telephone and Online Survey finds that 46% of likely U.S. voters say the upcoming midterm election is a referendum on Biden's agenda, not just Biden, his agenda. So the direction that they are taking. You're talking about the IRS, the spending, the wokeness, the gun control, all of it, which just ties in for us, right? 40% think it's more about individual candidates and issues, but another 14% are undecided. This is starting to paint the picture, and you understand, as we go forward in this weekend, I'm going to cover things like Arizona, Georgia, and a lot of the important Senate races, which tie into this overall narrative that we're looking at and we are checking across the board. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know if you like this format. Let me know if you think we should continue doing this as we go towards November for our gun rights. And I will see you on the next video. Back in the war wagon tonight. I'm Braden. See you later.